Hello everybody, this is Gamer Gar. Welcome back to another episode of the expanded series. We are now entering the first week of fall, and this marks the halfway point of this challenge. Stardew Valley Expanded just keeps getting bigger and bigger every time we build up relationships with a lot of the NPCs, new zones open up, new characters are introduced, and the game just keeps getting bigger and better all of the time. So the question still remains, is it actually possible to get perfection in just 1 year? We're going to find out in a couple of weeks, so we might as well just motor through the rest of this challenge and see how well we can do. Now, I am quite new to Stardew Valley Expanded, so there's a lot of mechanics that I'm still not aware of. If I'm missing out on anything important, just let me know in the comments. I'm trying my best to stay far away from the wiki and other YouTube videos to the best of my abilities because I don't want to get spoiled. So we're back in the swamp today and we're picking up mushrooms here so we can give to the henchman to complete the quest that he has given us. Once that quest has been completed, we're going to make a brand new friend, and that is going to unlock quite an interesting quest chain for us. Now, the swamp is home to huge amounts of valuable forageables, and because we have the botanist perk, all of these forageables we're picking up from the ground are iridium quality, which is absolutely amazing. Now, we do need quite a lot of chanterelles, red mushrooms, purple mushrooms, and swamp flowers, but it actually doesn't take as long as I thought it would to get all of the items needed to get that quest completed for the henchman. Before we knew it, we were finished picking up all of the forageables and we just had to interact with the henchman's house and donate all of the items, quite similar to how you would donate items to one of the community centre bundles. There's still a lot we have to do to reach perfection. We have to ship off huge amounts of items, we have to craft huge amounts of machines, we have to cook up recipes, and because we're using the expanded mod, all of these tasks have just gotten way harder. All we can do for now is take it day by day and do our best. So we are focusing a lot on Marlon at the moment because a lot of people have told me in the comments to get relationship points with him as quickly as possible to unlock a new zone. We're also going to visit Georgia and purchase pumpkin seeds. We will plant these back in our regular farm just for some extra bit of money. Now once all these pumpkins are planted, that is more or less going to sum up the first day of fall, and I have to say it was quite a productive day. The next day the henchman pays us a visit and he just wanted to say thanks very much for helping him collect all those lovely forageables and don't be a stranger to make sure we visit him at his home. He also mentioned that he fixed up a bridge as well, and that bridge he's talking about is a little pathway that goes directly from his home to the warp point that brings you to the witch's hut, and we can very easily get there now through the wizard's tower, so we don't have to go through that huge maze anymore to get to his house. So we did some fishing today. We just got the sandfish. We're also looking to help on the quests. 3 tiger trout were on the menu today. It didn't take us too long to get those, so we're going to give Penny the sandfish because she loves those, and that got a lot of friendship points for her. Now we will try our absolute best to max out all of the friendships with all of the Stardew Valley NPCs, even the expanded ones, before we get into the second year. Now as far as quests go, we got a new quest here thanks to the expanded mod, A Mysterious Venture, and Marlon here is looking for us to craft huge amounts of bombs. So for now, we're going to grab that quest because it could lead to something new, and that's what we're all about right now. We want to get as much of the expanded content in as possible before we get into the second year. So we just visited the henchman, and as we can see, he is now an interactable NPC with a relationship status. Now unfortunately we can't marry the henchman. His hearts do go up to 10. If we could marry him, trust me, I would have married him in a heartbeat. I think goblin babies would be really cool in this game. We are doing a lot more focus now on fishing. We got the walleye, we also picked up the goby there as well, and we're going to pay a visit now to the Sprite Springs. When I first came to this place, I thought it was just a location where you can get some fishies. I did not realise you could take a swim through the water. The water gives you a random buff every day, which is absolutely amazing. Over on the right hand side, I was met with huge amounts of forageables that I get to pick up. And that's not even the best part about this Sprite Spring. There was another hidden area that I noticed when I was swimming around. Inside, my jaw almost dropped to the floor when I saw the amount of resources I could pick up, including ancient fruit. And the best thing about these ancient fruits is that because they're on the ground, the botanist perk is activating, and we are picking up iridium quality ancient fruits, which is pretty cool. We have a couple of ancient fruit seeds that are up in the greenhouse at the moment. We can grab all those ones now, put them into seed makers, and we can dramatically expand our reach on having an ancient fruit farm. We will start with the greenhouse and we will slowly but surely work our way outwards. So we'll make sure that we fill up Ginger Island with them as well as Grandpa's shed. And the reason why you want to do this, especially on this farm type, is that the ancient fruit is a regrowable crop. Sure, it's not as potent as the starfruit, but it's regrowable. And if you convert it to wine, or even if you just dry it out, the profits are still amazing. So the ancient fruit is one of the best crops in the game. As we can see inside our greenhouse back on the Frontier farm, we have a big mixture of crops that we're harvesting right now. A lot of these crops will be shipped off for the shipping bin collection, the rest will be saved for cooking recipes later on. Once we were finished with our greenhouse shenanigans, it was time to go and complete the community quest for Marlin. So he needed bombs, cherry bombs and mega bombs, a combination of each to complete the mysterious venture. Once that quest was completed, we will get a cool cutscene the next day, but for now, we're going to go to Ginger Island and get some new fishies. The ocean sunfish was the first we pulled up. We also grabbed a Lunaloo today, as well as a shiny Lunaloo. Once that was done, it was time to head off to the farm on Ginger Island, talk to the frog. We're going to get him to inspect our fully grown melon. He's going to give us 5 golden walnuts for that, and he's going to give us 5 more for having a fully grown wheat on the farm as well. Once we are finished interacting with the frog, we're going to run around now and harvest the rest of the crops that are fully grown. So we just got some green beans there. We're also going to grab a fair dose of grapes here as well. Now the grapes can be dried out into raisins and they can be quite profitable, especially if you have the artisan perk. We're grabbing more golden walnuts from the muscle nodes here too, which was nice. Now because we had the funds and because we had the great majority of golden walnuts collected, there was 41 golden walnuts left, so we paid 410,000 gold for the Georgia parish to find the rest. We also gave the dwarf 36 diamonds so he would create a shortcut from our farm to the Calico Desert. The next day the dwarf paid us a visit and he inspected the diamonds that we got. He said, "Good work, a new shortcut will be made available." We just have to wait a day for the dwarf to get that done. We're collecting more oak resins today down by the quarry. We're also going to whack all of the trees for additional moss because we still need moss for huge amounts of recipes to make in the game. We spoke to Marlin and the prize we get for completing the Special Orders quest is the Adventurers Guild Ledger. We can use this to order new decorations, which is pretty cool. So today we completed a help wanted quest for Alex by giving him a diamond. Then it was back onto the Ginger Island farm and we harvested up some pineapples. We also reached a new level of understanding. That means we have now unlocked all of the mastery tiers. Before we go into the mastery cave, we're going to have a look at the key quests. We've got the Keys Hungry Challenge and the Prismatic Grange. We're going to take on the Prismatic Grange simply because it's awarding more key gems and it should be easy enough for us now at this stage of the game to get all of the items needed. For blue, we're going with Joja Colas. For purple, we're actually going with iridium ores. Orange, we're going with copper ores. Green is fibre. Yellow is sap. And red are cherry bombs. So they're all fairly easy. Now I know what a lot of you are going to say, why did you use iridium ores as purple? To be honest with you, I have thousands of iridium ores in a chest which was called cavern runs. Too much of it. I actually need to make heavy furnaces and just get the whole thing smelted. So with all of the key gems I collected, I'm just going to prioritise recipes for now. So we just picked up the recipe there for the bluegrass, which was nice. We also picked up magic rock candy as well from the desert trader. So we're now going to go into the mastery cave. We're going to get the combat mastery as well as the foraging mastery. And that is all of the mastery levels unlocked, and we got it done by the 4th of fall. It was then back to the farm to check out the shortcut that the dwarf had created for us. It was a nice little tunnel that leads out to the back of Calico Desert. But before we get to the desert, there's a little hidden path you can take here to the left. What we have here is a nice omni-geode farm, and this is going to come in very handy, especially if we're going for the mineral collections or if we want to swap in our omni-geodes for artifact troves later on. Now because we're playing Stardew Valley Expanded, the desert is quite big. It's actually faster to take the bus to the desert than it would be to go all the way up this way. But you know what, you're saving 500 gold, so you can make the decision. Now I'm going to visit the desert trader and she's got some things that we want. Gold carrot seeds. I spotted these the last time I was talking to her, but I didn't have gold bars on me. I'm going to plant these in the farm and I can't wait to see what they do as a crop. We also spoke to the raccoon as well. The raccoon wanted some dried mushrooms and eggs. We completed that quest and got back the raccoon hat. More importantly, the raccoon shop expands. So it was Elliot's birthday today. He got some gifts. We maxed him out. We're now going to purchase some animals for our barn, and the animals will be named after our channel members. So we're going to get dairy cows, goats, and huge amounts of pigs. Pantox will be our first cow. Bonkers Busy will be the goat, and the rest are going to be pigs. We're going to have Dara Wiseman, Natasha Smith, Taylor H, we're going to have Sabrina Doohy, Sarah Krull, Pink Blossom, Manya Inyala, Awkward Bird, Sleepy Brit, Fluffy Fish. So, if you want your name included in these videos, just become a channel member. It's a couple of euros per month. So we are hitting the regular mines today for a couple of reasons. Number one, we need coal badly. I mean extremely badly. Number two, we want to focus down monster eradication goals because we are now halfway through the year. It's time we start grinding out a lot of these achievements that we need for perfection. Now, a lot of the bats are dropping very important components. Bat wings is an active ingredient needed to make monster musk. So if we do see bats, we will absolutely wipe them off the face of the earth, because the more bat wings we get, the more monster musks we can make. That's if we unlock the monster musk this year. Hopefully we'll get the quest for that. Our first trinket is the Basilisk Paw. It's really good. It's basically an immunity towards everything, similar to the ribbon in Final Fantasy. We now went to Grandpa's big shed. We harvested huge amounts of starfruit, and all of that starfruit is going to get put into lovely kegs. All of the starfruit when we get back from this will sell for huge amounts of money. We are now going to go to Clint and we're going to break open huge amounts of mystery boxes as well as golden mystery boxes. The Foraging Mastery unlocks the golden mystery box. You can get some amazing things from that, including magic rock candies and other bits and bobs. So we're using the fast animations mod to make Clint break up those geodes super fast. If you're wondering what mods are being used in this video, just check the description. All of the mods are in the description with the links underneath them. For all of you people that put into the comments so many times, what mods are you using? All the mods are in the description. So we sold some starfruit to Pierre, we purchased more starfruit off Sandy, and we pulled up a legendary fish known as the Angler. We're now going to go down into the mines and we're going to pull up the ice pip. If you don't have max fishing skills or the trap bobber, it can actually be a fairly difficult catch. Because we were in the mines, we went down to floor 100, and believe it or not, we pulled up our very first lava eel. It's actually funny that we pulled up our first one and we're halfway through the challenge, you know? If you compare this to previous challenges, we would have had hundreds or even thousands of lava eels by now. So because it was Sunday, we're going to trade in our jades for staircases at the Desert Trader. We're then going to spend the rest of the evening running around Pelican Town, giving people gifts just to get a lot more friendship points with them. There's a lot of Stardew Valley NPCs that we don't have a whole lot of friendship points with, so we need to make a much bigger effort now to get that sorted. Once we were finished with the saloon, we went back down to the secret woods and we pulled up a new fish here known as a gar. And people have put into the comments before to ask me if Gamer Gar came from this fish. No, it didn't. Gamer Gar came from my own name, which is Garode. My friends call me Gar for short. So just so you know, it has absolutely nothing to do with this fish known as a gar. Once we were finished with fishing down here, we decided to go to the Joja Mart because it was Claire's birthday. I gave Claire a rabbit's foot along with a star drop tea, and I then made the decision that Claire would be the NPC of this challenge that we would marry. I was thinking about Lance and I was thinking about a few others, but Claire was going to be the one. If I could marry Morris or the Henchman, they would absolutely take priority, but unfortunately you can't marry those. We finally got the prismatic jelly quest, which was great. Completing this quest will give us access to the monster musk. That's going to make all of the monster eradication goals simple. We also took a help wanted quest as well to wipe out some lava crabs. Now we do get quite lucky and we do find a lot of the lava crabs more or less in the one area. Once I had the fourth lava crab destroyed, I passed out straight away, so it was pretty good timing to be fair. The next day, my very first visit to floor number 5 gave me the prismatic slime. We didn't hesitate to wipe it out. We're now going to purchase the Queen of Sauce cookbook today. That's going to unlock all of the Queen of Sauce recipes for us. So it's well worth the 50,000 gold if you want to square up those recipes sooner rather than later. We also went to the desert and we fished up the scorpion carp just for the fishing collection. Once we were finished with the desert, we headed back to the Wizard's Tower, spoke to Rasmodius, gave him the prismatic jelly for a good quest complete. We then went back into Pelican Down, picked up a prize ticket for completing the community quest, and it was off into Merluza's house to take a look at what prizes he had with his ticket machine. There's a very nice book of power you can get from this machine called the Friendship 101. Once that book is unlocked, it makes gaining friendship points with all of the Stardew Valley NPCs way easier, and the best thing about this book is that it stacks with other luck buffs, including the luck buff you can get from the Statue of Blessings. So with that Friendship 101, I am now hoping to max out all of the friendships before we get into year number 2. The crystallariums are still coming in fierce handy. I'm still using one crystallarium for diamonds just in case. Eventually I will have that generate jades just like the rest of them. So we're getting Marlon now up to a fairly decent friendship level. We still have a lot of work to do with Lance though. He's only on 1 out of 8 hearts at the moment, so we will have to pour star drop teas into him. Let's take a look at the monster eradication goal. So we have a ways to go with a lot of the enemies, but we actually have a lot of the Skull Cavern enemies almost done. Like the rock crabs are almost done, the mummies are almost done, the serpents and the pepper rexes are done. The magma sprites and the magma sparkers, that's going to be a couple of trips into the volcano dungeon. But you know what? That's all in a few days' work. So we just picked up our sweet gem berry. We're going to go to the secret woods with that, give it to the statue here, and that's going to give us another star drop. If we want perfection, we will need to collect all of the star drops the game has to offer. That means we need to get married. Another help wanted quest here. Maru was looking for the copper bar. We will oblige, of course, giving us another prize ticket. We're now going to go to Key's secret walnut room and look what popped up. The extended family quest. It gives 20 key gems. We don't care about that. You do this quest for one reason and one reason only, and that, my friends, is to make money. So we're not going to accept the quest today. Today is going to be preparation day. So we're going to do some fishing first of all, just to get all of the Stardew Valley expanded fish you can get from Ginger Island. I was looking to get the blue tang, and after a good couple of attempts, it finally popped up for us. We're now going to make huge amounts of trap bobbers, and we're also going to use curiosity lures that we got from killing enemies in the Skull Caverns. The curiosity lure combined with the Legend 2 bait, that's why we need the bait maker, will significantly increase the odds in which we can challenge Legend 2s. So for the next 3 days we'll be trying our best to fish up as many Legend 2s as possible. Another day, another gift for good old Lance here, so we will give him gifts when the opportunity arises. It's also blackberry season, so if we do see blackberries on the bushes, we'll pick them up. And that is the end of another Stardew Valley Let's Play. Thanks so much everyone for watching these Let's Plays, I really do appreciate you. Stay tuned for more big Stardew Valley challenges coming your way. I hope you all have a great week, and I'll see you very soon in the next Stardew Valley video. Bye for now. Hello everybody, this is GamerGar. Welcome back to another episode of the expanded series. We're going to try and unlock the Highlands this week. We're in the second week of fall and we're making good progress. Today starts with the harvesting of gold carrots. We got 2 silver star gold carrots. I tried to put them into the seed makers, but the seed makers would not take them, which was quite unfortunate because each of these lovely gold carrots sell for very nice money. You could process them further into artisan goods. So for the sake of the shipment collection, I'm going to sell one directly and process the other. We're going to go to Clint and we're going to get him to break open more mystery boxes in the hopes that we get some things that can help us along the path to perfection. It was Jodie's birthday, so she gets a lovely diamond today. Once we're finished with Jodie, we're going to head back up to the farm and we're going to process a lot of our iridium ores to turn them into iridium bars. We're still using regular furnaces, but very soon now we will upgrade those to heavy furnaces. That way we can get huge quantities of bars in a very short space of time. We're now going to visit the desert trader because it's Thursday and we're going to purchase another magic rock candy. We actually have quite a few magic rock candies saved up now. We're now focusing on monster eradication goals today. We just completed the one there for Dougie's, which was nice. It's then upwards and onwards to the dust sprites. We do have a monster musk. This means the spawn rate of monsters exponentially increases. It just makes monster eradication goals way easier to complete. Now we ended up getting a parrot egg today, and this was a level 4 parrot. Level 4 is the maximum level of parrot you can get, and it just means that every time you slay a monster you have a very high chance of that monster dropping gold. It stacks quite nicely with the monster compendium and the burglar ring. The next day it is time to finally do the extended family quest. We won't be completing this quest, we will simply be putting up Legend 2s for the entirety of the 3 days that we have access to this quest. Now we will spend some time harvesting the pumpkins and doing some other bits and bobs, but primarily we will be fishing up huge amounts of Legend 2s. Now because this is a completionist challenge, we're not too hung up on maximising every single day to make the most money possible. I'm more interested in getting perfection. The money will come eventually, and even right now, if we wanted to, we could sell a load of stuff we have saved up and we could make 1 or 2 million gold easy enough. We basically have a ginger island filled up with starfruit, a greenhouse filled up with starfruit, and a grandpa's shed filled up with starfruit. So we're not really in any sort of trouble for money, and it's not going to take us too long to get the gold clock if we decide to go that route. So for the rest of the day and the next day, we're just pulling up huge amounts of Legend 2s. Now we're not going to smoke them up just yet. I want to make huge amounts of fish smokers and then I will smoke them up. So that's going to be a week or two away, but we will get there eventually. For now, we're going to put those Legend 2s into a chest where they can be nice and comfy. So we finally got around to making heavy furnaces today. That is going to make life way easier for us when it comes to getting hundreds of bars. It was time for a new community quest. We're going to get fragments of the past, 100 pieces of bone for our good friend Gunther. Gunther also loves ancient swords. You can actually find these down in Cindersap Forest if you roam around enough. We're still giving Marlin eggs and rabbit's feet to get his friendship up as well. So we actually have him quite high now, just a few more gifts and we'll have Marlin maxed out. We're back down now in the regular versions of the mines and we're fighting skeletons to complete the monster eradication goal for them. We're also getting bone fragments as well from these skeletons, so we're basically hitting two birds with the one stone. Now, because we have the hot Jaffa ring, all these monsters are dropping coffees and triple shot espressos. We also have the parrot trinkets, so they're dropping money. So this is actually a real nice adventuring setup we have here now at the moment, because not only are we getting monster parts from wiping out these monsters, we're also getting coffee drinks and additional cash, which is just great. So we just got the monster eradication goal there for skeletons, which was nice. There's just a few monster eradication goals left to get, and we will then unlock the monster slayer hero. After we're finished with the regular versions of the mines, I decided to get the last few remaining bone fragments at the dig site here over on Ginger Island. Getting access to Ginger Island really just trivializes that quest, because a lot of the bone nodes will refresh the next day. I had a look in Key's secret walnut room for the quests. We had 4 precious stones and danger in the deep. I'm going to go with danger in the deep because this will give us access to radioactive ores, and we need those to get a lot of the endgame items. We just completed the monster eradication goal there for wiping out crabs. It was now time for the Stardew Fair. You can't go wrong with 9 iridium quality chubs. Once we won our first 1000 star tokens, we're going to gamble the rest until we get enough to get all of the goodies this event has on offer. Now, I basically kept picking green over and over again, and I only failed it once, so it was actually a great way to get all of the star tokens I needed to get the prize ticket, the star job, and there's even an additional item thanks to the expanded mod. Now, I'm pretty sure you can only get this item with the expanded mod, but if I'm wrong, correct me in the comments. And it's the furniture catalog too, and that requires 9,999 star tokens. So for now, we're going to get the star drop. With the remaining tokens, we're going to pick up the rare crow. We need that for perfection. We're also going to get the prize ticket. That furniture catalog too, I've never seen it before. At the very least, I could say I've never noticed it before. I'm pretty sure it's part of the expanded mod. So we're going to gamble all of these star tokens now on green over and over again. And every time my maximum amount of star tokens increase, I slightly increase how much I'm going to bid. And the reason why I don't go all in is because I don't want to lose all my star tokens. Eventually we get there and we've maxed out our star tokens, 9999. You can't get any more. So with that, we're going to talk to the vendor again and we're going to get that furniture catalogue. We're then going to go back to the farm and we are harvesting up more lovely starfruit, and a lot of that will be processed into starfruit wine, the rest will be sold. Now, some of you might be thinking, why don't we just prioritise cakes and process even more of it? Reason being is I just don't have enough time to do that right now, because I want to experience as much of the Stardew expanded mod in the first year as possible, so I don't mind processing some of it into wine and just selling the rest. At the end of the day, you know, we can grow starfruit all year round in 3 unique locations, so I'm just not too worried about making tons of money right now. Speaking of money, we will actually make a lot of money by selling all of these starfruit wines. We should make the bones of at least $500,000, and that'll keep us going for a while. That will get us a lot of upgrades done, a lot of community projects done. We can still go ahead and we can fix up Pam's house, and we'll also get some pretty cool quests from a lot of the Stardew expanded NPCs where a lot of money is required. So we're just going to do a very quick professional swap up there by using the Statue of Uncertainty. Then it was off to Ginger Island to harvest all of the starfruit over here, and it took us the rest of the evening then to plant the rest of the starfruit down. The Ginger Island farm can still be massively upgraded if we acquire pressure nozzles. For now, we're focusing down all of the key secret walnut room recipes, but once those recipes have been unlocked, the rest of our key gems, primarily we'll be going into pressure nozzles to dramatically increase farming space in which we can plant more crops. So the new level 10 farming perk we select there was Artisan, so we can now sell that lovely wine for 40% more gold. We're now doing Volcano runs to get kill counts up on Magma Sprites and Magma Sparkers, so we can finish out the monster eradication goals. Anytime we came across a chest, I did get a little bit excited. You can get some real nice stuff from these chests. I was hoping for some sort of a boot upgrade. We're still using the space boots, if you can believe that. I really wanted either mermaid boots or dragon scale boots for the extra defense. When I got to floor number 9 here, my fingers were crossed I'd get something good. I got an ostrich egg. Ostriches are actually one of the most profitable farm animals in the game, because one ostrich egg will give you back 3 mayonnaise. We just enchanted our galaxy sword with Crusader. That's going to make killing mummies way easier going forward. We're also going to put some rubies into it as well to increase its attack power. We made 1.2 million gold today from selling starfruit wine and unprocessed starfruit. Bring on the money. Marlon paid us a visit the next day. There's something he wants to discuss at the guild, so he wanted us to drop by. We will absolutely do that. But first, we're going to visit the museum, and we are going to drop in those 100 bone fragments to complete the Fragments of the Past community quest. We're then going to jump down into the mines here and do Danger in the Deep. The quest is quite simple. We just have to make it back down to floor 120 in the mines, and the quest is complete. The key gems will be ours. Now, making it down to floor 120 can be difficult depending on your setup. If you get stuck, you can just staircase it all the way down, no problem at all. Now, when we do get to the midsection, we will staircase right down to floor 80 because we don't want to deal with the putrid ghosts. They give the nastiest debuff in the game, and that debuff will not allow you to take any sort of food or drink items. So if you need to heal, tough, you gotta wait it out, and that consumes huge amounts of time. Now, you could equip a trinket known as the Basilisk Paw. That will prevent you from getting the debuff, or you can just do what I did and spam staircases to avoid the monster entirely. When you get down to the latter floors, you're met with these enemies. They're fair irritating, but they're not the worst enemy in the game. They're the shadow snipers, and they'll fire these bolts at you via their crossbow weapons. If you get hit with those bolts, there's a very good chance your screen will go very dark for a couple of seconds. That can make it very difficult to fight, especially if you're swarmed by enemies. On floor 93 here, I had a lot of fun because we have a strong weapon. We can wipe out most of these enemies in a few hits, and because we have a lot of passive abilities now unlocked, as you can see, we're getting copies, triple shot expressos, we're getting golden mystery boxes, we're getting golden animal crackers, we're getting money. It's just so much fun to wipe out huge hordes of monsters this way. And before we knew it, we finally got the monster eradication goal for the Void Spirits. The only monster eradication goal left now, I believe, was the Magma Sprites and the Magma Sparkers. We got down to floor 120, we picked up those lovely key gems. We then went to the Adventurers Guild, and Marlon wanted to tell us about a place known as the Highlands. A very dangerous place indeed, and trust me when I say this, we do not want to go to the Highlands without very good gear. Before we could go, we had to collect lots of monster parts for Marlon. Void and Solar Essences, Slime, Bat Wings and Bug Meat were on the agenda. Thankfully, we already had these in huge abundance in our lovely chest back on the farm. So we got the monster parts, and we're now going to give them to Marlon one by one so we can get over to the Highlands and explore more of Stardew Valley. So this got me really excited. We also get to meet Lance over at the Highlands as well, which is pretty cool. The Highlands is one of those places where you can actually meet Lance. So when he gave us his schedule, 2 days out of the 7, he's actually in the Highlands. So it's just going to make it a little bit easier for us to gift Lance every now and again so we can get his friendship points up even more. Because we're in the hardened versions of the mines, killing these mushroom monsters actually counts as killing dust sprites, and we still haven't completed the monster eradication goal for the dust sprites. Every time I think to myself, oh, I just have one monster eradication goal left to do, suddenly dust sprites pop into my head because you have to wipe out 500 of those. We also have to wipe out 1,000 slimes, so we're actually not finished with the monster eradication goals just yet. But trust me when I say this, we're very close, and we should get the job done very quickly. So this is the end of another Stardew Valley Let's Play. I really hope you enjoyed this one. We're getting quite close now to completing out the series. It's going to be very interesting to see what we actually accomplished by the end of the first year. So thanks again everyone for taking the time to watch these videos. I really do appreciate you. Huge shout out to all of my channel members as well. Thanks so much for supporting me. And I'm sure I'll see all of you in the next Stardew Valley video. Bye for now, and have a great week. Hello everybody, this is GamerGar. Welcome back to another episode of the expanded series. Today starts with a nice visit from Marlin, and he's very happy about the monster parts that he got. We're now going to go to Robin and we're going to give her some gifts because it's her birthday, and that is Robin, another NPC, fully maxed out. While we're here, we're going to purchase a full stack of wood, and we're going to start upgrading our house. The house has to be upgraded a handful of times if we're going to get married. We're now going to go up to the Adventurers Guild, and we get a nice cutscene here where Marlin is finally going to allow us to use his boat so we can get to a new area called the Highlands. Now the Highlands is a very tough area because monsters literally spawn up out of the ground regardless of where you go. There are huge amounts of monsters here. Lance is also at the outpost here as well, which is nice, so it's just an easier way now where we give him gifts throughout the week to ensure that we get his relationship points maximized as quickly as possible. Now, when we're at the Highlands, there's a few things we have to do in order to progress the game a little bit, especially when it comes to getting perfection. We're going to get a very big quest from Lance here. He's going to ask us to go out and find monster seeds. We're then going to plant those seeds in our greenhouse, and we're going to get back loads of different types of monster crops. We need to get one monster crop for each season, spring, summer, fall and winter. So once we have obtained all of those crops, we can then hand that quest into Lance, and that will give us access to another location. So as we can see, we need the fall, spring, summer and winter monster crops. So we need to go out and start wiping out monsters left, right and centre. There's no shortage of monsters here. Picking up the slime seed was simple enough. We're also going to get some stalk seeds today as well from these stalk monsters. Now these monsters are like ants. They are literally everywhere, and if you decide to go from A to B without fighting monsters, you'll soon very quickly find an army of monsters behind you, ready to wipe you out. Now because we're at a new location, that means there is new fish to capture and there's new items to pick up off the ground to ship up to the shipping bin collection. Thankfully, all of the new monster types here do not require monster eradication goals. So once we get the items we need, for the most part, we can ignore all of the monsters popping up out of the grounds. Now some of these monsters were dropping real nice items. We just picked up a truffle there from one of the stalks, which was really nice. And because we're still using the hot Jaffa ring, the amount of coffees and everything else in between that we're getting from these fights is absolutely insane. There's also slime eggs we can just simply pick up off the ground as well. Now this place is home to different types of fish that we need to get for the fishing collection. So we have the Highland bass, and we will attempt to get that now tomorrow. For the purposes of today, I'm just doing some exploration. This is the very first time I've set foot in this map, so I'm just trying to find my bearings. When nighttime hit, instead of stalks coming up out of the ground, we were met with lots of different types of shadow monsters. And the monsters over in the Highlands for some reason hit way harder than the monsters in Skull Caverns and even the monsters from the hardened versions of the mines. These monsters packed a serious punch. So we might have to look at ring combinations when we come back here, because I was taking purple mushrooms and life elixirs every time I had one or two battles. And I also noticed that every time I went to fight these monsters, sometimes I would simply miss them, so they would get closer to me, and that's why I was taking so much damage. I wasn't able to hit the monsters back over and over again. So the next day started with the collection of lots of rudium bars, followed by a nice journey into the mines here, where we just completed the monster eradication goal for dust sprites finally. While we were here, if we saw iron nodes we would get them. It just means we can make more bombs if we want to do more Skull Cavern runs. But we also need huge amounts of iron as well for upcoming projects and quests, and more importantly, kegs. Monster eradication goes in the regular mines. I went down into the Skull Caverns because in my experience, the best place to farm slimes is the Skull Caverns to get the kill count up. Now, there is a chance in the regular mines you might get an infested floor. If that floor is infested with slimes for the majority of things, then by all means farm that floor for the whole day. It didn't take too long to get the monster eradication goal done for the mummies, which was great. That's one less goal to worry about. For the rest of the day, we're just primarily wiping out slimes here to get kill count up to 1000. Once the slimes have been dealt with, it's just a matter of going back into Volcano a few more times to get the magma sprites and the magma sparklers. The slime charmer ring that we're going to get for the monster eradication goal of slimes will greatly help us in Highlands, because all of the slimes there won't be able to do an absolute cent of damage to us. And if we equip that to the crab shell ring, that's going to be a +5 defense as well. That's going to come in very handy too, so the more crab shell rings we can get now, the better. At the end of the day, we just don't want half our HP to go if we take a single swing from the monster. So we want to dial down the game from Dark Souls difficulty to Stardew Valley difficulty. Now, I did go to the regular mines today in the hopes to get more kill counts up on slimes. I figured that if I kept farming floor 5 over and over again, it might be a more effective method to kill slimes rather than going to Skull Caverns, and the method proved to be quite effective. Within no time at all, we got the monster eradication goal done for the slimes. Speaking of slimes, we're still giving Marlon slime eggs because he loves those to get his relationship up even more. Taking a look at the monster eradication goals now, we have all of the goals done, except for the magma sprites and the magma sparklers. We still need to wipe out 100 of those. But we will get the slime charmer ring, the savage ring, the burglar ring, and the lovely crab shell ring. We can use all of those to great effect. It was time to take up another community quest. We had Juicy Bugs Wanted and Biome Balance. We will absolutely take Juicy Bugs Wanted. This will unlock the quality bobber, and it just means if we get another extended family quest, instead of pulling up gold star legend 2s, we can pull up iridium quality legend 2s. It also makes for getting iridium quality fish in general way easier, and I'm sure Stardew Valley Expanded has a lot of fish that's worth huge amounts of money, so putting them up in iridium quality is going to be a bit of a game changer for us. So we are taking monster musks going into the volcano dungeon because we want to dramatically increase the spawn rate of these magma enemies. We just have to wipe out 100 of them, so hopefully within 1 or 2 runs we can get that kill count done. It is now time to finally harvest the last batch of pumpkins, so we're going to do that today, and we're going to sell all of these pumpkins raw. And we're going to get a fair decent amount of money from this. We have 1.7 million gold at the moment, and we're not even trying to make money. You know, all we're doing primarily is just putting down some starfruit, selling it, rinse and repeat, and we're just running around doing some other activities as well. But if we tried really hard to make money in Stardew Valley Expanded, we could probably very easily make well over 100 million gold in year 1, without a shadow of a doubt. So we're on the path now to getting the bug meat required to complete Willie's quest. Because we're using the Monster Musk, there's literally bugs and flies all over the place. But we're not just getting bug meat. As you can see, because we have so many passive perks in the background, we're getting trinkets, coffees, Shrimp Espressos, money. We just got another Monster Compendium there as well. Now we're not going to use any of those books of power. Instead, we're going to save them and trade them into Marcelo. There's no point using them right now because we have maximum XP, so activating those would be an absolute waste. All of the books of power can be either used for love gifts for a lot of the Stardew Valley NPCs, or they can be traded into Marcelo for some really nice rewards. Now if you came down here with the level 4 parrot, the burglar ring, and you had the monster compendium as well along with some other stuff such as the hot java ring, the amount of money you can make in one day is absolutely staggering. You can make well over 2 or even 300,000 gold from the drops and the money you get from wiping out these monsters. And the best part about it is that this works best on bugs because you find bugs in huge clumps. It also works quite well on dust sprites as well. So either bugs or dust sprites, it's a great way to make huge amounts of money with the parrot trinket. It's just a great way to kind of bring combat into the money game when it comes to end game in Stardew Valley. So we just completed Juicy Bugs Wanted. We're going to get a nice bobber now off Willie the next day. We're after accumulating huge amounts of trinkets. We're going to sell all these now back to the Adventurers Guild. We get 1000 gold per trinket, which is absolutely great. Our greenhouse is now yielding tons of different types of fruit. We've got pears, cherries, mangoes, oranges. We've got nectarines, peaches, you name it. We have it inside the greenhouse here. Slowly but surely it will become an ancient fruit greenhouse. So we're looking to complete the museum collection now because we're almost at the end of the challenge, and it would be nice to get a lot of the perfection goals done. So we're breaking open more geodes here in the hopes to get the last few minerals we needed to complete the minerals collection. Now we did get quite lucky today and we got the baryite as well as the calcite to complete the mineral collection. All that's left now is to find the last few remaining artifacts, but those last few artifacts aren't going to be easy because I don't think you can get them from artifact troves. We're going to have to find them inside artifact spots, and all of these artifacts I'm talking about are Stardew Valley Expanded artifacts. Because it's Thursday, we're going to get our usual magic rock candy and we're going to talk to Marcelo again. We're going to purchase the rest of his books of power for the most part. Horse the book in case we decide to get a horse. The horse goes a bit faster, and no slither legs. It just means we can run through the crops a bit faster as well, saving a small bit of time. So we're back over on Ginger Island. We finally put up a pufferfish. I was missing one of those for ages. Thankfully, you can get it on Ginger Island regardless of the season. That's what we love about Ginger Island. We're now back in the Volcano dungeon, and we're farming up magma sprites and magma sparkers. I'm hoping to get the monster eradication goals for this done either today or tomorrow. It would be nice to get the monster eradication goals done and the museum done at the very least before we get into year number 2, so we can focus down the rest of the challenges. It would also be very nice to have caught every single fish in the game as well, including all of the Stardew Valley expanded fishies. We're now going to combine our hot Java ring with the burglar ring. This is going to make for a wonderful combination when it comes to getting loot from the monsters regardless of where we go. We're now going to go into Key's secret walnut room, and we have Let's Play a Game and Key's kindness. Key's kindness will be beneficial because it would force us to give love gifts to people, and that's what we really need to do now to max out the friendships. But I just wasn't in the mood right now. I was all about exploring the Highlands. So for now, we're going to make a few more heavy furnaces and we'll play some Dynamo Kart. With the extra heavy furnaces, we can now get through hundreds upon hundreds of ores within mere in-game hours, no problem at all. We keep getting huge amounts of mystery boxes and golden mystery boxes because we're fighting so many monsters. So the amount of golden mystery boxes here, you'd think you might get something decent. I was actually hoping for magic rock candies and star drop teas. I don't know if you can get star drop teas from those, but let me know in the comments if you can. I do end up getting a few magic rock candies from those over the period of the year. When it does happen, it's really nice. We also completed the final monster eradication goal today as well for Magma Sprites and Magma Sparkers. After that, it was straight into the saloon to play some Dynamo Kart. Now, you have to play it on endless mode and you have to beat Merluce's score, which is 50,000 points. If you manage to collect 3 pieces of fruit on each level, that would give you a huge amount of points going into the next one. After a couple of attempts, I finally made it into, I believe, the 4th level, where I managed to collect all 3 pieces of fruit, completing the challenge. After that, I spoke to Gus. He had the Big Back Burger, the mixed berry pie, the glazed butterfish, and the candy. We're going to purchase all these for perfection. I then totally forgot about the pigs I had on the farm. Look how hard they've been working. They have found huge amounts of truffles, and because we respect with Gatherer and Botanist, there was a good chance we were picking up double the truffles, and all of the truffles were of iridium quality. So we are going to sell all these as is. We will keep 1 or 2, convert those into truffle oil for the shipping collection. We're also going to finally convert all of our hard-earned wheat flour into bread, just to make some additional money when we go and sell that. For the rest of the day, we're just running around the regular farm trying to make more space here. There's still a huge amounts of debris on this farm. This farm is just huge. And if you think this is all you're going to get with this farm, wait till you see what happens in the next couple of in-game weeks. This farm gets way bigger. I mean exceptionally bigger. So once we're finished wiping out all of the debris on this farm, it's time to go into the 27th. And that's going to mark the second last day of this season. So we're back in the Highlands today and we're fighting monsters. I don't know if you can actually beat all of the monsters to prevent spawns, but these monsters seem to just be endless. So eventually I come to the conclusion where I'm just going to have to run past these monsters if I want to actually explore the Highlands properly. I finally got a break and I was able to fish without getting my head beat in, and I picked up a Highland bass, which was great. That was one less fish to worry about now for the fishing collection. I brought my axe with me today so I could get rid of all these big logs so I could explore more areas of the Highlands. Every time I took a couple of steps, I was met with an enemy coming up out of the ground, ready to wipe out my health. It was actually quite stressful because I was missing some of my swings, these enemies were landing hits, and every time that happened, there wasn't much I could do. So if you can let me know in the comments if there's something I can do to ensure that I don't miss these enemies, so that each one of my strikes will 100% land as a hit. That would be great. So I spotted a cave in the Highlands. We will go into that cave eventually. I went up to the peak of the mountains here as well, so I was up here, and I was just met with lots of artifact spots and huge amounts of enemies. Eventually, I actually got sick of fighting. I know me, sick of fighting, right? I just want to explore more of the map without getting harassed every 2 seconds. And I found another area here. Inside this area was a pond, along with hardened versions of dust sprites. Now, I ended up spending a good few in-game hours wiping out all these enemies because I really wanted to fish at this pond to see what kind of fish I could pull up. And because I had the visible fish mat activated, I knew there was new fish in this pond that I needed for the fishing collection. But I couldn't just fish right now, because if I did, the enemies would have killed me. So I had to whip it on the enemies, and then I finally got the fiber goby. It's after the Ginger Island Trader, so we're going to get some recipes here. The banana pudding, the deluxe retaining soil, and we're also going to pick up a galaxy soul. You can get this on the last day of the season if you trade in 10 radioactive bars. Such a great tip. We're also talking to Susan as well, and we're trying really hard now to get Susan's friendship up, because everyone's telling me in the comments to try to maximize her friendship so she gives you an amazing perk. And oh my god, what a perk she gives. She shared her crafting technique with me. Casks, kegs and preserve jars now require less wood to craft. That is just simply amazing. There's no other word for it. Today in the Highlands cave we're doing some exploration. This cave, just like the outside, is filled up to the top with monsters. There was also fish in this cave that I've never seen before that I really wanted to catch. So it was time to do battle with a new type of fish, and this one is known as the gemfish. It was quite a tough catch, but we got there eventually. 1800 gold for the gold star, which was pretty nice. We also found a dwarf imprisoned in a cell of all things, and the dwarf said that if we fight a monster up on the peak, we can actually get the key off it and free the dwarf. Additionally, the monster might drop some really nice loot. I was absolutely stoked when I came across this, because it was potentially going to be a boss fight, and that's something that you don't really see in Stardew Valley, are boss fights. So when we got up to the peak, it was basically a pepper Rex, but its skin was a little bit different. I somehow managed to wipe the thing out with one swipe, which I thought was a bit weird. I thought it would kind of pack a little bit more punch than that. I got an ornate treasure chest for fighting this thing. It's worth 10,000 gold. It also dropped the golden key, and we need that to free the dwarf. And the dwarf actually gives us a pretty cool reward once we free it, which is great. Now, we didn't have enough time to go back down and free the dwarf. We're going to pass out now in a few minutes, but we will free the dwarf in the next video. So that is another Let's Play. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you very soon in the next Stardew Valley video.